So this is the video for 2.2, and it's where we start adding with integers. So if you're going to do it by hand, you would add the absolute value of each of the numbers, and then use the same sign if you have like signs. If you have different signs, then you add the absolute values and keep the sign of the larger number. We could do that up here, but I put this big star here for a reason, because we're not gonna do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm fine doing that, but it's gonna take up time that I don't really have, you don't really have, there's no need to do it. So we have instead a calculator, and that's what I'm opting to use. I think you need to get used to the calculator, and you need to use it as much as possible. We have this lovely little negative key down here. I want you to get used to it. Use it a lot. This says -4 plus -5. Type it in just like you see it. -4 plus -5. And then you press enter in order to get your answer. Answer pops out as being -9. If I were to take the absolute value of this, I would have 4. The absolute value of this, I would have 5. If I added those together, 4 plus 5 is 9. Keep the sign of the same thing. That's -9. It works, but I don't need to do all that. I can just stick it in the calculator. When you get to much bigger numbers, it's a whole lot easier just to stick it in the calculator. When they're different, they want you to stick it in the calculator. -4 plus 5, press enter, we get 1. Plugged it in just like I saw it. Not hard. They wanted us to say the absolute value of -4 is 4. The absolute value of 5 is 5. Because they're different signs, I subtract these two numbers. I get 1. Keep the sign of the larger number. My larger number is the 5. It has a positive, so it's going to be a positive 1. Hey, look, it works. Use the calculator. It'll save you lots and lots and lots of time. Additive inverse. This is a definition they're going to ask you about. The opposite of an integer is called its additive inverse. The sum of any integer and its additive inverse is 0. A plus negative a is going to give you 0. 2 plus -2 is 0. 4 plus -4 is 0. -5 plus 5 is 0. If you add the opposite and that number, you're going to get 0. They want us to deal with equations and trying to figure out if things are solutions to equations. We do that by plugging the answer that they got in. So here, the answer that they got is -10. If I plug that in, I would have -10 in place of my x, because that's what they told me x was, so I put -10 there, plus 8 equals -2. I just put this in my calculator and see if it's true. -10 plus 8. Does that give me -2? Look, it did. So -2 does equal -2. It's correct. Good job. Over here, plug in what they got. 1 plus -5 equals -6. Let's see if it's correct. I put in what they told me. 1 plus, oh, it's in parentheses. We have parentheses on our calculator. Everything's fine. Plus parentheses, -5, close parentheses, hit enter instead of the equal sign. Did it give me -6? Ooh, no, it gave me -4. That one's not right. So 1 is not a solution. That's what it means. 1 is not a solution for x. Here, it means that negative 10 really was the solution for x. Over here, we need to see if negative 17 is the solution. So 17 plus negative 17 equals 0. We know that one's going to be 0 because it's the additive inverse. So yep, that one works. So negative 17 is the solution. Doesn't mean it's the only solution. We saw in the last one that you could have more than one solution, but it is a solution. Trying to make sure I don't skip a page. And I'm definitely about to skip a page. You try these 3. Pause it so that you can. They want us to test x equals negative 5. So negative 5 plus 14 equals 9. Plugging that into your calculator, you would get 9 equals 9. Yes, that's a solution. Negative 5 plus 5 equals 0. Oh, that's a solution. Negative 5 plus 25 equals 20. This gives you 30 equals negative 10. So, not a solution. Okay. They want us to find the additive inverse of each integer. Or the opposite. This one's going to be negative 15. This one is a positive 40. Then down here, they want us to add. You can use your calculator. You're going to get negative 8. Here, when you go to use your calculator, see, this is why you do it, because you can put it all in at one time. You go ahead and you type in the 12 plus 14 plus parentheses negative 16 close parentheses, press enter. You don't have to do it separately. You can type it all in, just like you see it. And you're going to get 10. Then there are people who are like, can't we do the absolute value in this calculator? I don't think you can. I haven't seen it yet. That doesn't mean that you can't. Because every time I say that, somebody comes up and shows me something. So I don't think you can right now. That doesn't mean they won't show it to me later. It's possible that it's in there. But I don't think you can. I don't think you can. However, I don't think there's really a need for it either, because you just make it positive. So this would be a positive 7 plus negative 7. And we know a positive 7 plus a negative 7 is always going to be 0. But if you needed to stick that in your calculator to find out, that would be okay too, because you could just plug it into your calculator. Determine whether the given integer is a solution or not. Plug it in. Negative 2 plus 5 equals 7. This is going to give you 3 equals 7. They don't equal, so it's not a solution. And then we're to the word problems. These word problems I actually want to look at. It says a submarine dives to a depth of 250 feet below the surface. If it rises 75 feet before diving, so it dives to a depth of 250 feet below. So it's below the surface. That's a negative. If it rises 75 feet, so that means it's going up 75 feet. Before diving an additional 100 feet, so it's going to go back down 100 feet, so that's a negative 100. What is its final depth of the submarine? So we get to put this all in. It's a negative 250 plus 75 plus a negative 100. And you get a negative 275 feet. This one says the temperature at 2 a.m. was negative 17. By 2 p.m., the temperature increased a total of 15 degrees. What was the temperature at 2 p.m.? So it was negative 17 and it increased by 15 degrees. So we have our negative 17. Can you see that one? Negative 17 plus 15 degrees gives us negative 2 degrees. That's what it was at 2 p.m. Temperatures like we're having now. It's cold right now. Okay, that ends that section.